Hi guys, Louie here. Well, this is a game changer for those of us that sell online, and I know there's quite a few of you out there because a lot of us like to buy and sell coins, especially on eBay or Etsy or Amazon or wherever you sell. And if you sell more than 10, 20,000 in a year, you have to be legit, right? You have to pay your taxes. You have to have your business license. It all needs to make sense, or you could be creating gigantic problems down the road if you're ever audited. Well, in this decision, Supreme Court widens reach of sales taxes in e-commerce. The small guy has once again totally been screwed. I really don't know how I will be able to maintain an eBay store, and let me tell you why. So, what seems like a fair and wise decision by the Supreme Court to require all sellers to collect sales tax um, is actually rather devastating to the small seller. And I want to show you why. As I said, I do have an eBay store and I try to be legit about it. It is closed right now because I'm in the process of moving. But, you have to collect sales tax currently in the state that you reside. So if I sell something to someone in California, first I disclose that, and then I have to charge them sales tax on top of the transaction, which can be quite annoying when you're buying a coin. We are not used to paying sales tax on coins unless we do so with our local coin store. And hopefully there's a good reason you've done that if you are paying that extra 6, 7, 8%. But let me show you what's involved and why this is devastating and will likely bring eBay down. Well, I overstated that. We'll have a serious impact on eBay and eBay sellers. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to show you how this works. In California, before, of course, you have to collect sales tax at a rate, and you can pick any rate you want. You could pick 8% or 7% or 8.5% or wherever you think the majority of your sales might be. In California, it's going to be around that 8% number, and you collect that. You collect that on behalf of the state. But when it comes time to reporting and paying the state the money, which is not yours, you are responsible for remitting that money to the state of California at the end of the year. So if you've never done that before, let me tell you, it is the biggest pain you could ever imagine. Not as big as creating, your Schedule C for your tax return, but when you go to file your return, which is done annually, you have to go through every sale and you have to determine what city the person was in that purchased your product. So if I sold 100 items to people in California, but they were in 100 different cities, I will have to ferret out where everyone lives. Hollywood, it's 9.5%. Oxnard at 7.25, etc., etc. You have to drill down into your PayPal records and find out exactly where they live, and then there is an automated schedule that you populate with the Franchise Tax Board that will tally up all the money that you owe on the basis of the rates that you pay. So consequently, and that is an enormous hassle. Consequently, when I sell, I hope I never sell anything in California, and I hope nobody from California buys anything from me because it comes with this added baggage, and plus that diminishes what people are willing to pay. Obviously, if they could buy something from a seller in Arizona and pay 8% less, they're going to do that, right? I don't buy things from sellers in California that charge sales tax. I don't buy coins from retailers in California that charge sales tax. Um, so imagine now this scenario. Now, California is really, really aggressive at collecting sales tax and punishing people who don't collect them. And not all states will act like this, but they have a right to go after this tax money. So if I sell something in all 50 states, even if it's an $8 coin or whatever, I will have to allocate sales tax to that transaction, store that money somewhere because it's not mine, and then go about the process of filing 50 different sales tax returns, withholding statements, and remittances at the end of the year. And every one of those returns could have a state by state differentiation in it. So you are looking at, really a very complex transaction for the small sellers. There are likely software packages out there that do this, but if you're just doing eBay as a part-time business or a hobby, good luck figuring that out. And this may be the reason I literally stopped selling on eBay completely. Because while it seems, the Supreme Court is doing the right thing to equalize the playing field between brick and mortar and online sales, um, I can't imagine how that is going to work for the small and moderate internet seller. Just cannot imagine it. If you have specific knowledge in this area and would like to post your thoughts and maybe your solutions, I'd love to read them. But once again, barriers to entry are being established by, the states. They're being established by the Supreme Court here. And it takes away competitiveness, right? If you have to buy everything through government or somewhere, or resales or older coins through AppMex, that's going to increase the price of things. And I imagine that's happening as we speak. I also wonder so this is even more important to everybody. Will all the online retailers have to start charging sales tax? Okay, this is the bombshell that I have not seen reported on YouTube yet, but when you go to buy something under $1,500 from AppMex, Oklahoma, are they going to be charging sales tax? Because I guarantee California will be reaching into the pockets of every national retailer to get their money back. Even the newspaper in California, it used to be $1, right? Well, California sued them to say, where's our sales tax on your newspapers? The ones you get out of the boxes outside the liquor store and whatnot. Well, maybe they don't do that anymore. So what they had to do, the local newspapers, is they had to change the price of a newspaper to 92 cents and still charge people $1 to give California their blood money. All right, now in this article it says Americans have done more and more of their shopping online in recent years, drawn by the promise of low prices, wide selection, and buy from home convenience. But e-commerce has another edge. Many of those sales were in effect tax-free. It goes on to say how the Supreme Court is closing the loophole, ruling that internet retailers can be required to collect sales tax. The decision, South Dakota versus Wayfair, was a victory for brick and mortar. But if we think this is going to save brick and mortar, gosh, guys, I don't think so. How in the world is that going to save people from the absolute advantage of shopping online, comparing prices, and having something delivered to your door for next to nothing? Your time is way more valuable. So I think that's why people are going that way. State and local governments have really been dealing with a nightmare scenario for several years now, said Carl Davis, research director at Institute for Taxation. This is going to allow state and local governments to improve their tax enforcement and put local business on a more level playing field. It goes on to say how states are in need of money, and that's where I beg to differ. Okay, states are not in need of money. States are wasting money at the largest rate I have ever seen. I cannot believe how quickly states are squandering any surpluses that are coming as a result of this recovery. So to give states more money is just to create inflation, right? Because the states will take that money and they will pass it out to their cronies, their friends, their unions, their boondoggle projects, their senators, their congressmen, and you won't see a penny of it. I mean, good luck getting a pothole fixed in your state or your city, let alone something meaningful that will benefit your life. But it will raise the price of everything. Yeah, here it says state budgets are increasingly feeling the pinch. Writing for the majority 5-4 ruling, Kennedy said, blah, blah, blah. States lose $33 billion in sales tax. If there was fiscal conservancy in the states, if they were wise about the way they collect and dispense our tax dollars, I'd be okay with this. But in my state, it is just another tax and another boondoggle, and it will not result in any noticeable increase in quality of life. In dissent, Chief Justice Roberts, um, Coke Can Roberts, agreed that the court's rulings in this area had been wrongly decided, but said there were insufficient reasons to overrule. Well, I bet eBay has something to say about this because if you haven't shorted their stock yet, you should probably do that right now. So, what are your thoughts about this landmark decision? I know every state will not necessarily jump on the bandwagon and look to be clawing sales tax revenue from retailers and maybe even small retailers, but some will. And how will you cope with it? Let's see. Donald Trump says big Supreme Court win on internet sales tax. Of course, Trump is very anti-Amazon, and he believes Amazon is influencing way too much power over the country, and I agree with him on that. So, but Amazon was already charging sales tax. He says it's about time. Big victory for fairness in our country. Wow, does he sound like a Democrat or what? Other states will have to change their laws if they want to take advantage of the decision. All right, well, I am going to stop right there because I've gone on too long. But I tell you, this is just murder to small and moderate eBay sellers, and it could be murder to your stackers, to your stack. If you have to pay an extra 8% on your bullion purchases, I don't know, guys. Nobody's talking about it. What do you think? Did your stack just get 8% more expensive? Did this actually just increase the de facto spot price by sales tax? Or will all your orders now be $1,500 or more? I would love to see AppMex or Provident or Government or somebody respond to this and see what is going to be happening there. It's really, really huge. Now, perhaps there will be a state that has some kind of a sanctuary, and maybe they're looking for that. But what do you know about this? Come on, guys. Are you in the know on this? Tell us what's happening and give us your thoughts. Thanks, everybody.